Broke. We ain't got it. We broke.
What up, yo? It's your boy Phil Child, aka Flint Floss, the big boss, baby, aka Flintza P, aka Sexy to Lovu, aka Filthy Phil, aka DJ Comrades, aka Shamari, the Tegro Drink. We out here at Sony Studios, all these plaques with the North God.
Big
you know?
Phil, what up, baby?
Fresh to death,
man,
two fresh Les.
Yo, man, them AKs is bananas.
Your mom calls you Leslie. That's why I'm giving you all these.
Yeah,
man. You got a lot of them, man. You've been doing it for a minute.
Yeah, North God, fresh to death, like you say.
Yeah. This year, if I'm not mistaken, this marks 10 years in the game for you.
Shit, yeah, it does. Damn, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, it was 10 years since we. Yeah. I mean, we dropped some in 2006 called Shimani CT. You know, and with those with Shimani. But I think Jozi dropped in 2007, so I was gonna count next year as the official 10 years.
Okay. Any special plans for the decade?
Man, you know, the truth is, you know, I mean, when I came into the game with Jozi, with Bongani, Ish, and Crazy Lou, and I don't even know what they up to really. So to try and kind of reconnect with them, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we might make something special happen. Maybe, I don't know. You know, life is short too. You know, Five Dog from Tribe Called Quest died, and Tribe Called Quest broke up because of the kind of similar issues we had in our group. So, you hear that Air Force One? You know that shit.
Shots fired! Damn! No, actually, Air Force is solid. Don't lie, like, don't listen to
I know.
Air Force is solid.
And the pizza is dope as shit. The Pizza Inn, woo!
Thank you. I've been telling people, Pizza Inn is the illest pizza in Africa.
Exactly. Nah, I'm with you.
See, he knows.
Yeah,
that's nice.
I'd rather stand up.
But they're gonna pay us for that.
Yeah, true.
Alright, man. So basically, let's get down to the story of L.E.S.
Yeah.
Born in Washington.
Yeah, DC.
So apparently your dad is big in the IT game. Yeah.
Back in the days, you know, back in the early '80s, my dad definitely was the big boss star in the IT industry, and you know, was fortunate enough to be able to work in the States, and I was born in DC, but I could say I grew up mainly in Texas. Okay. You know, that's where I remember most of my childhood, in Dallas, Texas, and a little bit of Houston. So I've been very blessed and fortunate enough to have that opportunity.
Alright. So how old were you when you moved back to SA?
I moved back when I was 8, turning 9. Yeah. 94, actually I was 9. Okay. Yeah, I'm 30. 30-year-old man.
Alright, and what is the culture shock like?
I was definitely a big culture shock, you know. South Africa was very different to me. First, it was a long flight, you know, visiting family that you never really, you know, ever really knew or grew up with. My family's straight from the hood, you know, from Soweto. So, you know, coming in like with all of these privileges and having like, you know, some of the cream of the crop life to, you know, chilling with some of my cousins who weren't as fortunate than I am. I was also quite a big culture shock, but it was dope, you know. You know, everybody loved me, welcomed me with open arms, and I got used to the South African culture really, really quick. You know, one thing I definitely hated was the lack of basketball in the country then. There's a lot of basketball now, but then it was like no basketball.
Alright, so your dad's from Soweto as well?
No, my dad's from Randfontein.
Okay. Yeah. So how did he? Because you just said like most of your family weren't as fortunate as you. So how does he go from growing up from humble beginnings to becoming an IT specialist and then moving to America?
I think hard work, you know what I'm saying? My dad, you know, studied his ass off, you know, I think at that time when a lot of people were fighting, you know, were political fighters. My dad was also a political fighter, but was also, you know, fighting the books, you know what I'm saying? And studying and just, you know, figuring out a way to get out as opposed to, you know, getting physical or getting violent, just, you know, kind of just using his education in order for him to get out. And I think that's exactly how it happened for him, you know. He landed a job at IBM, you know, being one of the first black men to work for IBM in South Africa. And then from South Africa, they transferred him to New York. Shout out to the Jews. The Jews did that for us. For real, real talk. Shout out to the Jews.
I dope. So you get back to SA. What's life like as you're becoming a teenager? Is hip hop a big influence in your life?
You know, not really. It's at the sense. Funny enough, I think, you know, growing up in America, hip hop was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? There was, you know, I was influenced by the likes of like at the like Crisscross, and you know, A Tribe Called Quest, and a lot more of Michael Jackson and stuff like that. But when we moved to South Africa, when we moved to the north, we were like, I was literally like one of the only black kids in my school. So, you know, chilling with a lot of white kids, we you know, listened to whatever they would be listening to. So it'd be like rock and roll, Metallica, Nirvana, Offspring, and a bit of rave music too. And look at your face, it's crazy. Just a bit of like all different kinds of music, and I think I also kind of got introduced to extreme sports. So I started off rollerblading, you know, chilling with my white boyfriends, rollerblading to rollerblade, then rollerblading, you know, got a little bit too easy, and I got into skateboarding. And then I think, you know, being around the skaters at the time, the music while we were skating was listening to hip hop. The hip hop culture was really coming into the northern suburbs and coming into the schools, you know, but like old school kind of like underground hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Like Cypress Hill and like Hieroglyphics, Far Side, all the old stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's when it really came into play, was through skateboarding and through some of the hip hop influences in skateboarding.
Like, so this is like high school age?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I went to high school with Cap too.
I was about to say, like, if I remember correctly, you were a senior, right?
Yeah. So I went to high school with Cap, and I think, you know, we went to Bishop Avon. Bishop Avon's a dope ass school with a lot of people from all over Africa, you know what I'm saying? From Mozambique, Angola, Zimbabwe, and obviously South Africa. So there was a lot of cool people, and there was a lot of opportunities and a lot of dope kind of things that I related to, like basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like I went, you know, I'd never been to a school that had basketball till I went to Bishop Avon. So we played basketball, and then because I was so into skateboarding, and because of skateboarding, I was rapping in the skate parks. I think I used to freestyle at the school. Hey, Cap? Yeah, I used to freestyle at the tuck shops and stuff like that. So you know, our school definitely had the jig, and it brought the jig to my career for sure.
So at which point did you link up with Bongz?
At the skate park, around Four Ways. So like I said, you know, growing up in the northern suburbs at the time, there weren't that many black people. And, you know, being one of the only black kids, you know, some of the white kids would, you know, love to introduce another black kid to another black kid, you know what I'm saying?
Have you met Sleeper?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So everybody kept telling me about this kid, Bongani. Bongani, I got to meet Bongani. It was like, cause we always used to go to the mall, we used to go Four Ways Mall, and then I met Bongani in Four Ways Mall, and beatboxing was really like, in those days, you know, Rizal came out with that beatboxing, so he could do all those beatboxing, like Rizal. I was like, damn, this kid is dope. And then like, yeah, he's Brenda Fussie's son. I was like, oh, that's even iller. And then it turned out that, cause I'd been to Bishop Avon as soon as I landed from America for about a year, and then I left. And I went to, I moved to Santon, and I went to all the schools there in Santon and River Club. But it turned out that when I'd gone to Bishop Avon the first time, that him and I were actually homies. You know, because I remember having a homie called Bongani. So I was like, oh, sick. So we're like, damn, yeah, shit, what happened to you? Whatever, cool. It's dope that we back together, and then we just became best friends, you know?
What?
Yeah, we became best friends, and we skateboarded, and I was really good at skateboarding. He was really good at like the music stuff, so you know, at the skate park, I kind of teach him a couple of tricks at skating, and then you know, while we'd be chilling, smoking, we'd be beatboxing, and then I think we used to beatbox together, and we used to beatbox in this tunnel, and there used to be like writings all over the wall. So when he would beatbox, I would just kind of rap all the writings on the wall, whatever, you know, like, you know, fuck your mom, whatever, fuck your mom, eat shit, what the fuck, but I used to make it rhyme, and then we used to take turns doing that, you know. So when I'd rap, he'd beatbox. When he'd rap, I'd beatbox.
Alright, dope. So when does it go from beatboxing and rapping at the skate park to hitting the studio?
On his 18th or 19th birthday, his mom got him a studio. Well, I think it was her studio. They moved into a place, and they built a studio for him. And
dope.
Yeah, and then he knew what he was doing. It was crazy. Like when it comes to that music shit, like, yeah, you know, the homie's born with that shit. You know what I'm saying? He knew what he was doing. I was just sitting there watching him, you know, make all these beats and then like pull up the mic and, you know, press record and do the whole shit. And then once we were live on the mic, then you know, I can say he knew the concept of recording. He obviously the given talent was, you know, making the beats, but the concept of recording, he knew how to do it. But then as we were doing, we were also learning together, you know, like how to kind of put effects on certain vocals, or, you know, ad-libs, those type of things, you know, we were kind of learning those type of things together. And we just started making music like from then, which was, about 2003. It was about 2003, yeah.
Dope. So at what point do like Crazy Lou and L.E.S get involved?
Yeah, so Bongani's mom passes away, unfortunately, and it was a really hard time, and we didn't really, you know, because before, when she was alive, we always knew we were going to make music, but, you know, I think when she passed away, it was just kind of, now you got to make music to survive, you know, and it really became serious, and at the time, I think that's when Lance came in, and you know, he kind of, you know, took Bongani under his wing, and you know, kind of became a father figure for Bongani, and him, and by me being his best friend, I was just, you know, gone with the flow and going with the ride. So he kind of took us, you know, Bongz moved into his place, and Lance, obviously being the top dog in the industry, has artists signed underneath him. So one of the artists was Ishmael, and during the hard course of times of us just trying to figure out what kind of sound we're looking for, Crazy Lou was also around, you know, when you got a studio, you know, a lot of people just are always around the music. Yeah. You know, the music brings a lot of people together. So Crazy Lou was around, and Ishmael was already signed to Ghetto Rough. And like what totally happened was we made one song, you know, Bongz switched up the beat, he put the African music to the song. We made that one song, and that one song became two, and that two became an album. Okay. And Ishmael, you know, said we should call ourselves Jozi, because it's all different styles, you know, everybody, like, you know, I come from the north, I'm a bit flashy. Bongz has got that, you know, authentic, you know, beat, making traditional African story, and Crazy Lou's just crazy as shit. And then Ishmael's, you know, it's got the voice of the nation, so he's like, we should just be called Jozi because it kind of represents the city.
So basically Motherland Crunk was just fun in the studio. Yeah,
fun in the studio, and just kind of being a little bit authentic to the African sound, because obviously our raps are very westernized, and, you know, we you know, the type of things that we're saying are like, you know, a lot of, at that time, South African hip hop really did have a big kind of complex on, you know, sounding too American, or like, you know, or you guys are too flashy, or you guys are too jiggy. So the South African hip hop industry at the time was just like anti all of that, you know. It's either you had to be vernac, or like you had to be like really underground and really hard. So I mean, for us, we're just like, you know, whatever, man. We'll kind of put our identity within the music element. And then the rest, we'll just be ourselves, you know. This is what we like to talk about. We like to talk about bitches. We like to talk about smoking weed. We like to talk about having fun. We like to talk about being in the club. We like to talk about fucking turning up. You know what I'm saying? And what we want to do is we want to tour the country, and you know, we want a bunch of groupies, and we want to live this rock star life. Like, fuck all this complex shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly what we did, though, you know? And Motherland Crunk was born. And, you know, it hit the country by, you know, it hit the whole continent actually by, you know, great force. And you know, we toured, and we had a lot of fun, not gonna lie.
Alright, dope. So, like, I'm trying to think back then, in terms of new age backpackers, because people like to classify it. What basically your image seemed to come across that, like a skater, always had a backpack on, cool kid. How were people accepting that image? Was it commercially viable back then, or were you a very niche individual?
I don't know. I mean, at the time, I think for a lot of people in the industry, a lot of people didn't really like it. But I think for the consumer, for the people, for the fan, they loved it because they could relate to it, you know. And it was refreshing to turn on the TV and to see, you know, the South African hip hop artists, you know, taking themselves serious. From an image perspective, from a lyrics perspective, and just an overall brand perspective, you know. I think the fan was like, it's about time, you know, that the South African hip hop industry looks like this as opposed to looking like that. Yeah.
How much did you know about the record industry before that? Like, how good was your deal? Were you guys eating?
Oh man, you know, we didn't know so much. but I can't say we were eating. We're not like eating like 2016 eating, you know what I'm saying? But no, but we were eating, you know what I mean? Like we didn't really, like I said, you know, we really just wanted to live that rock star life, and it was just kind of like whenever we get whatever we need, we get. You know what I'm saying? If we need some new speakers in the studio, we're gonna get some new speakers in the studio. If we need new mics, we're gonna get some new mics. If we need, you know, cash for some new clothes, you know, rock star shit, like, you know, really, you know, I mean, like I said earlier on, I was, you know, really fortunate enough to have an amazing upbringing. So I didn't really need much. I just really wanted to make music, have fun with my boys, and party. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, our deal was kind of, you know, was quite a long ass deal, I'm not gonna lie. And it was a 360 deal, but you know what, at the end of the day, you know, personally, I learned so much from Lance, and you know, he really educated me on a lot of things in the music industry, and I think if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be looking at myself in the next 10 years as an entrepreneur or as a boss or as a record exec, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for him showing me all the things and teaching me all the things of the industry, I wouldn't be looking at like, yo, I know exactly what's gonna go down in 2026, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So then, what's the transition like from the first album, this explosion of fame? When you guys decided to start recording the second album?
Oh man, so that's Jozi, the first album. Okay, yeah, that happened. Explosion of Flame, but for us, the whole plan was for us to kind of leave the country, and it was like to just go to the States and take our sound to the world. And then, you know, because of the question what you asked, you know, if we were eating, you know, I guess some individuals kind of felt like they weren't eating enough. You know, some individuals felt like 360 deal was a bit like weird. You know, some individuals kind of felt like, you know, we're being played. So, you know, people started catching feelings and people were just, you know, leaving. You know, Crazy Lou left. He was like, nah, he you know, he didn't want to commit his time to what he felt he deserved, you know, which is right for every man. He left, and it was us three. And then, you know, Bongz decided to leave. You know, he just decided to wake up and leave because I guess he felt also too like he was in a bum ass deal. You know, I think I chose to stay was just the reason why I chose to stay was also just to kind of honor my commitments to what I committed to. You know, and I just think that everybody's you know, reaction to wasn't really thought out properly. You know what I'm saying? There was no game plan to the reaction. So in the middle of making the second album, Jozi 2, the Wildlife album, we separated. And it was just me and Ish. Ish and I had to finish the last bit of that album. Yeah.
Okay. So who are you working with on production since
Bongz did the production for 3/4, and then Ishmael took over production for the last quarter. The main plan was to relocate to America, to work in America. So Lance was structuring a couple of deals out there in the States. We went and we performed in the States. We performed at Spring Break. And you know, those deals were kind of happening. Then we came back, and then there was another plan where we wanted to maybe relocate to UK and then just kind of angle, you know, spread out the sound from there. And then the third plan, which came last minute because of bookings in Africa, was to kind of just let's take over Africa first. So when we land in America, we know we got Africa on our back, kind of a situation. So I think, you know, when you're doing all of those kind of tours and those type of things, especially like in Africa, you know, you get to see the level of not necessarily I can't say stardom, but I can definitely say you know, the level of income that the African artists are making. And I guess that kind of questioned some of the guys, you know, some of the guys in the group kind of felt like, yo, I mean, we in Nigeria, we known in Nigeria, but you know, look at D'banj. D'banj is he's killing it right now. He's in a range, he's, you know what I'm saying? Look at us, you know what I mean? And I'm like, you know, I'm raised that those are valid points. But at the end of the day, you know, we got to look at the bigger picture, and we got to just kind of honor our commitments and just stick through these times, because this is not going to be forever. So a lot of the guys got impatient, and a lot of the guys got toxic, and yeah, then it fell apart from there.
Okay.
Dope. Man.
So after that situation kind of dissolves,
Yeah.
you then go solo.
Yeah.
Fresh to Death.
Yeah.
How did you go about recording that project?
Well, that project was really easy because it was in between the Jozi's first album and Jozi's second album, and the recording process was really easy. It was like 2 weeks, easy. You know, every day studio, 2-3 tracks banging out. And the thing, it wasn't really planned. I was just making music, and the energy was there. You know, we're drinking a lot of amaretto. We even made a song called Amaretto.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we're linking up.
Good gang.
Yeah, we're linking up with Muggs, Tito, Pages, Ral. You know what I'm saying? So the energy was just crazy. You know, and I think that could have also been part of Bongz's plan to kind of start Fassi Records and to start to introduce his artists. But I think Lance's plan was to be like, no, let's be more Jozi focused, you know, because if once you're Jozi focused and Jozi, you know, blows up, then all the other things will be able to blow up. But, you know, it was just like two bulls going at each other. And so that was easy. Now, the hard part was kind of when Fresh to Death got released, the amount of the attention that Fresh to Death got and the love from the fans that Fresh to Death got also caused a lot of problems within the group, within the Jozi group. Because like I said, a lot of people, Lance kind of felt like we're losing focus, or, you know, other people kind of felt like, you know, only one person's getting shine now. And, you know, it was just, the politics just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, you know. And a lot of alliances kind of formed, you know. That's exactly how Jozi broke up. Like a lot of alliances kind of formed, you know, Bongz, and, you know, was just hanging around all different kinds of people, and they were kind of just putting a lot of things in his head. And then, and then, you know, that happened, and that was dope. And then we get back onto Jozi on the Wildlife, and then Bongz leaves, and then we did a Move in the City. We did like a little TV show thing with me and Ish. And then, you know, the Move in the City, you know, during that time, we, you know, I think Ish and I just kind of felt like, you know what, man, this is going nowhere fast, you know. There's still love, you know, we still got love for each other, but, you know, like the passion and the drive, and it's not like what it used to be. Mm-hmm. So we're just like, look, man, let's just call it. You know, I need to work on the second album. I haven't worked on the second album over like 3 years at that time, you know, so I'm gonna get back to just concentrating on my solo career. And yeah, man, we're just gonna have to call it. So that's why it took so long for Fresh to Death. That's why there's such a big gap between Fresh to Death and Mandela Money, because we're just going through all of that turmoil.
Yeah, that was almost 7 years?
No, it was like 4 years.
Yeah.
That's that math from Zim, that A grade. I was saying,
Yeah,
higher grade, boy.
That 9-0 math.
I hear that, boy.
Speaking of Zim, actually, there's actually a very good connection between like recording Fresh to Death and Zim. At the time, on Fresh to Death, you just on Rocksteady.
Yeah, with my boy Technique. Yo, man, where is Technique?
Yo, Tech quit the game. At the time, yo, Tech was literally my best friend.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, Technique was
Tech quit the game, then he came back, and he started doing gospel rap.
Yeah, he told me he was doing that.
But he's still there. He's in Matari. He's got a beautiful kid now.
Yeah.
He's doing his thing.
Yo, for me, when we met Technique, I was like, yo, this is the homie, man. We gotta sign the homie. Listen to like the way he rap. Yo, man, like that kid really blew me away. His tone. And he used to make his own beats. And Technique also used to rock with Ricky, you know what I'm saying? Because they used to live in Labori. And they used to make beats with Ricky, and him and Ricky, they used to go out. They actually used to go out and battle people for money and shit. That was crazy back in the day.
Tech was literally one of the illest rappers. Because I used to be in the studio with him. I'd see Tech start from scratch, go from beat, hook, verses in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I know. He was incredible. So I always tell Bongz, we gotta fuck with this kid, man. This kid's got it, you know, he's got the juice. And then it just never really happened. So, you know, I mean, then I was like, yo, we definitely put in Technique on that rock stage. You know, that just, yeah, we killed that shit. Fuck yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Technique, man, and his family.
Dope. So, Jozi now dissolves. And then, as you said, you're dealing with all this internal politics.
Yeah.
That's slowing down the process of making Mandela Money.
Yeah.
You're no longer with Ghetto Rough.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to leave Ghetto Rough and do Mandela Money independent?
Because I just felt like I had already gotten so much. I've learned so much already. I think it's just time for me to try it out on my own. You know, spread my wings and just try something different. Because if you don't try anything different, sometimes even behind the scenes of the music, it kind of ruins the music. You know what I'm saying? So if you change, you know, some of your working patterns, you know, in the business side of your music, it could really influence the change on your music side for the better. You know what I'm saying? And you just let things be in the past and you move forward. You know, you hang around different people. You know, you get new energy. You know, positive vibes only, of course. And you just, you know, kind of, you know, find a new path and a new trail for your life. So that's exactly why I did that.
Alright. Plus you had $1 million.
Oh yeah, $1 million. Yeah, that was also dope. You know, I must say that was also a blessing. You know, winning that $1 million because I knew, like, if anything, because I was, you know, like, don't get me wrong, I was trying to, like, work with other producers, and it wasn't to say that I couldn't work with other producers. It's just really to say that I just needed to be a little bit more comfortable as I was, because you need to understand that I learned how to make music with Bongz, and he recorded all the Jozi albums. He engineered them. He knew my voice, and then he recorded the Fresh to Death album. He engineered the Fresh to Death album, and so it was like hard for me to just kind of work with other people, because obviously a lot of people that work with me kind of expected a lot from me in terms of how I wanted my voice to sound, you know, kind of me taking charge. But the truth is, I didn't know how to tell anybody to do that. All I knew was that I'm just gonna get on the mic, I'm gonna rap, because that's how I used to do it with Bongz. Bongz knows exactly how to fuck with my shit. You know what I mean? So, you know, I worked with Ricky, we did Barbershop, you know, we were having a lot of fun, we did some stuff. Oh, we did a Barbershop, we did a whole mixtape actually. It's called Last Summer, yeah, fuck, that shit was dope. Yeah, that shit was fucking crazy. Yeah, we did a whole mixtape in the summer called Last Summer, we fucked that shit up at the crib. And then I was also working a little bit here and there with the Night Team. So then I got the $1 million. And when I got the $1 million, I was like, fuck it, man. I'm gonna take this $1 million. I'm gonna build me my own studio. You know what I'm saying? Then I built my own studio, and you know, I started working with some of my own producers, and just started getting comfortable being in the crib. And then it just hasn't been the same ever since, you know. And obviously, when I went on to Jamaica and really got a chance to kick it with AKA, we became bros. And we just started making music, and shit just took off from there.
Okay.
Yeah. And we grew up in the north, and Ricky was always kind of like our little brother. And he always had the chick, he was always fresh, you know, he's always funny. So there was, you know, getting together and relating to certain things was mad easy. You know, I just think at the time, I was so, when it came to my music, I was so focused on the people that I made music with, being Bongz, Ish, and like all, you know, that kind of workplace, that I think maybe sometimes you just felt like, you know, look, you know, I got the jig too, just take a listen. So eventually I went and I took a listen to some of his beats, and I was blown away. I was like, damn, kid, I know you had it like that, you know? I always knew you had the freestyles, and I knew you and Technique was out there battling for cash and shit. You niggas was battling, man. They was making guap, yo, for real, like real battling, like putting up stack. Like, yo, 3K, niggas walking out with 6K. Nah, they was doing their thing. So I was like, damn, kid, like, shit, I know you had it like that on the beats. Like, yeah. I was like, so look, let's bring all these beats, let's bring this whole setup, let's move it to the crib. So he came, we moved it to the crib, and we knocked out this mixtape called Last Summer, literally during that summer. Like, we just called niggas up and we just built, we just did this really cool kids, like 90s, 80s kind of groove mixtape, and we called it Last Summer. And we did, like you said, you know, we did a little mini tour. And the whole reason why we did the mini tour was because we're in Cape Town. We're in Cape Town, and we're getting so fucked up, and we're blowing so much money that we had no money to get home. And I was like, shit, how the fuck are we gonna get home? And Ricky was like, damn, I don't know, I think we're gonna take a train. I was like, my nigga, there's no way I'm getting on a fucking train from Cape Town. I'm gonna tell you how we're gonna get home. I'm gonna walk into this club right here, and I'm gonna tell them that we're gonna perform, and we're gonna take this last bit of money that we have, hand out these motherfucking flyers in Cape Town, and throw this motherfucking party. He's like, all right, cool. That's exactly what we did. We took money, made the poster, we took it outside Zula's. I think it was Zula's back then, I don't know. Put it up there. I spoke to the manager, said, yo, listen, man, this Saturday, yo, put this shit up. We doing the whole thing. And that's exactly what we did. You know, we threw the party, we took the door, and we had just enough to get back home. We made it home with some change. And you know what was so fucking crazy is that even when we made the money, Ricky and I was still thinking like, yo, man, should we blow this shit again? Like, and like, nah, let's just go home. Let's just go home. Cause they're like, yo, but let's go for a quick drink or something, you know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, let's just go home. So we literally just went to the airport, went home, and some change, and we made it back. Yeah, and that was the last summer, so it was a dope experience.
And that concludes our financial management segment with the L.E.S. Wow.
Yeah, no, we were reckless for sure. No, definitely.
No, well, it's the lifestyle, man. It's the lifestyle. And like I said, it created a necessity. You started touring.
Exactly.
So it all fed into each other.
Yeah.
That's great. So the studio literally cost $1 million.
Yeah, no, we're like a little bit under, you know. I had to pay, like, you know. I just did a bunch of other stuff too, you know what I'm saying?
Some of the other stuff.
No, like the responsible stuff to do, you know, save a bit, life policy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what, if there's anything I do encourage the artists of 2016 is all the money that you're making, you gotta definitely put some away, save some every month, you know, invest. That's all I'm gonna say. It's really important.
Alright, dope. So what's the creative process like when you finally get down to making Mandela?
Oh, it's easy, man. Decepticons are in the building. Yeah, man, it's really easy. It's at the crib. You know, the studio is bringing everybody back together. Muggs, Spoon. Who else is it? Oh yeah, AKA of course. And who else? What's my man's name? Tell me, can you look at my homie's name right now? Shit, I feel so embarrassed. What's my man's name?
Yeah, the dude.
Cap. Jay something. Oh my god.
Junior Prince.
There we go. Junior Prez. Wow. Also an amazing artist, you know what I'm saying? He reminded me of Technique too. Beautiful tone. Good shit. Like, oh man, I that's my nigga for real. Like, so we was all in the studio and we just cooking up and the process is just going and it's going smooth. And then I get introduced to who's my producer today, Blazing, who's you know, part of called VAM, produced by VAM. I get introduced to him and he's got like all the kind of beats that are missing from you know like the smooth soul melodic kind of keys type shit that was missing. So you know the Decepticons held down all the club trap shit, and then you know Blazing just took care of all the smooth stuff. So it was a real easy process. Literally like also probably like a month, 2, whatever. It was super quick and super easy.
Dope.
A lot of Ciroc. Shout out to Ciroc.
So that was like fully independent.
Yeah, 1000% independent. Yo,
Yeah.
now the process after the recording was a headache. You know what I mean?
I was about to get to that. Yeah.
No, it's a headache. Whoa, it's a headache. If you don't have a team, at that time my team was really small, man. It was a headache. From you know getting the right designer to shooting the cover on time to it's literally about making deadlines. You know what I'm saying? The logistic part about it was literally making those deadlines, and that was the fucking headache. As an artist, you know, you don't want to make deadlines. As a kid, I didn't want to do my homework. I fucking hated homework. The fuck? I don't want to do projects, handling projects, all stupid types of shit. I just wanted to skate, you know what I'm saying? Or make music. So I still have that kind of bone inside me, which is a bad bone, which I encourage the kids to never get that motherfucking bone. Go to school, you know what I'm saying? Fucking do your homework. Hand it in on time, you know what I'm saying? Respect time, you know what I mean? My man Capital's waiting over here. He's got a long ass day. We're doing this long ass interview. And he's like, fuck, these niggas ain't respecting my time.
Word.
So He's like, what? So I'm just saying, respect time, go to school, and acknowledge some of the things that you learn in school, like time, like handing in projects, and like homework. So the headache behind it was doing all of that and trying to get it in on time. And there's so much that you got to do that people don't know, like from handing in your lyrics, from, all the split sheets, from getting signatures from all types of artists and producers, and, getting them to agree, and what a headache. Separates, mixing, mastering. You don't even know what the fuck that is? That's a fucking headache and a half. But you know what? If you love your craft and if you're passionate about it, it's all worth it. So that was my headache. I kind of get through that headache, land the Ciroc deal, and, been blessed with, getting budget to shoot dope videos. And I decided to, take a different approach and reach out to Matt Alonzo, because I went to LA and I linked up with a bunch of cats in LA, and reach out to Matt Alonzo, meet and shoot a couple of videos with him. And, I just feel, and I feel really proud of that move, because, then the music video industry game really just kind of needed a breath of fresh air. And I just kind of felt like, you know what, the world is so small. Literally, the world is in your pocket, or the world is in your hand. You know what I'm saying? You can link up with anybody, if you try. You know what I'm saying? Just because we're in SA doesn't necessarily mean you got to use somebody from SA. You can use a nigga from Nigeria, Kenya, Europe, all over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was a move that that definitely had to be done. And I'm glad, yeah.
But you just touched on something very important there. Linking up with like Matt Alonzo. I think at that time you also did song with Cat Delia. Yeah. Clark's joined. Yeah. And even on Mandela Money, is that joined with guys from LA and Las Lacas?
Las Lacas. Yeah, busted.
Yeah. How did those links come about, man?
Yeah, man, just being in LA, they actually came about again through skateboarding. I went to the Kimberly Diamond Cup and I met Felix, who's a professional skater, has been in the industry for years. He's actually the commentator for the competition, and he lives in LA, and a lot of people don't know that worldwide that hip hop and skateboarding are really, really like brother and sister. I wouldn't even say cousins or anything like that. Like literally like brother and brother, brother and sister, or sister and sister. A lot of the influences in fashion come from skateboarding. A lot of the brands that you see on hip hop artists are skateboarding brands. So with that being said, when I landed in LA, I was like, look, let me hit up the homie Felix. I hit up Felix and he picked me up, and he literally just like, took me to Travis Barker's studio, and I never met Travis Barker, but he took me to his studio and he introduced me to Scoop DeVille. Scoop DeVille has done records for Snoop Dogg. He's done records with Dr. Dre and Kendrick Lamar, and I started connecting with the homie Scoop DeVille. Went to his crib, listened to some beats, and then we picked that one beat, busted, and then the next day went to Travis Barker's studio to record it. And it just so happened that Los Racas were in town too, because they're from the Bay Area. Yeah, it just so happened. So they were in town too, and they came to smoke in the studio, because we were smoking crazy. You smoke crazy when you're in California. It's bananas. They were in the studio and we was just smoking. They were smoking. They loved the track, and then they hopped on the track. We finished the track that night, and then the next day, the homie Felix was like, "Yo, man, I'm gonna reach out to my boy Matt Alonzo, and we shoot this video." And I was like, "I bet." He hit up Matt Alonzo. Matt Alonzo was free. He heard the track, and we shot a video for Busted that people haven't seen, which I'm actually gonna try. Actually, I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna get you that video so you can post it on this interview. Yeah, the Busted video. I'm gonna get that from Lance. Lance, you gotta give me that video. Lance has that video.
Why didn't they drop it?
I just think we didn't drop it because the way we structured the singles of the album to come out, Busted wasn't really structured. To be honest with you, I don't know why. I was just dizzy. I was caught up in Heaven and Fire and Dice. You know what I'm saying? Those, the club joints. But it's a hot record. I just didn't know what way to put it in. And also the homies rap in Spanish too. So it wasn't like it wasn't gonna get, I don't know if it was gonna get any South African airplay, so, but what we will do is we're gonna give that shit to you guys. You're gonna post that shit up. I'm gonna give you Lance's number. You guys gonna call Lance. I got your number from Les. We wanna use that Busted video, please. We wanna put it on the people can watch that video. And that was the first video that I made with Matt Alonzo. And then, excuse me, and then I came back for a couple of months, and then I went back to LA to go shoot Fire with Matt Alonso, and then came back and then went back to LA to go shoot Dice.
And I think that brings us to a heartbreaking issue for me. Something that brought tears to my eyes.
You're bringing tears to Capital's eyes. Yeah, you see? Capital's heard this story thousands of times. Yes.
The serious, like, I don't lie, what really hurt me was Dice.
Yeah.
That was the perfect strip club joint.
I know.
Perfect.
I know.
It was perfect.
I know.
When I first heard it, I could envision
the
South African tip drill in my head. I could see it like shot at Summit.
Yeah, yo, Summit.
No, not even the North. We're going straight to Summit, fam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the video comes, and I'm just like, it's nice.
But it's just.
But no.
I know what you mean. You know, the truth is, I had to, you know, it was then, you know, like I said, the Ciroc deal.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta honor the rules and regulations of Ciroc and the brand Ciroc and what it represents.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did, you know. And you know, I definitely agree with you, but there will definitely be a video like that, and I think it's gonna be freak nasty.
Yes.
I think it's probably gonna be freak nasty.
Thank you. I was gonna say freak nasty's a. Yeah. I'm betting on you, bro.
Yeah.
You know.
No, we doing freak nasty.
North God, please.
No, we doing freak nasty.
Like, if you need me, like director of photography, I can get the extras. I'll powder the butts,
No,
whatever
I got
you need.
you.
I'm
I
in the
got you.
video.
I
I'll
got
help you out, fam.
Hey, but speaking of Busted has a little bit of a raunchy thing going on. When you check out Busted, it's got a little bit of a twerk raunchiness happening. We got this chick called Angelina Ivy. She's quite a big deal in the social media whole perspective. Whatever you want to call it.
But Fire had some twerking.
Yeah. We also had to blur a little bit out, but yeah.
Alright.
But Frank Nasty got it next.
Alright. So, moving on from Mandela Money. Oh yeah, in fact, one more thing that I noticed is when Mandela Money dropped, there was the digital copy, and then it took almost like 6 months for the physicals to come out.
Yeah. True. I mean, that's like I said, it's the headaches it's those logistic headaches, you know. But you know, that was also a learning curve. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like it did take a while because it dropped in July, and then and then the physicals only came out in December. Yeah, it was just at the time I can barely remember, but I know that at the time we were just pushing for dates, and there were all these kind of, you know, behind, like all these things that were needed for the physical copy to happen. Fortunately, we didn't have them in time. Yeah, it's a learning curve.
Alright, so on to the new project, North God. Solid project.
Thank you.
Really loved it. It's mostly produced by Van.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
I think track 3.
I can't even remember. Yo, track 1 is KM, who was part of VAM, so he left. So, and then the last track was also KM.
So is VAM like a collective?
Yeah. It's a collective. VAM is Emblazon and KM, but unfortunately they split. I think Emblazon came up with the name VAM, produced by VAM. Valuable African musicians. So I think he just kind of ran with it in KM.
So like they're like the hit squad.
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that. Yeah.
Dope. So what is the process of recording that album?
The process is just kind of, the thought process is to just kind of get in studio, smoke up, and, you know, give fans more music and kind of make up for all the logistical mistakes that we made with Mandela Money. Just kind of make up for all of that, and just kind of be, you know, a little bit more aggressive, you know, and that's exactly what we did. So we just stayed in the studio, and my longtime friend, now my right hand partner, Spuda, you know, got a little bit more involved with the A&R and just kind of introducing new artists that I'd never worked with before, and kind of introduced new collaborations. And those collaborations were like obviously my Namuzi, Ricky Rick, you know, people like Doomy, and what's so great about it is that it wasn't a forced kind of issue. It was just all organic, and it was all like so like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like perfect timing. And everybody came in the studio, delivered, drank Ciroc, man. We celebrated, we had fun, we danced, we smoked. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a really great process.
All right, dope. So, Nasty C was supposed to be in Real Stuff.
Yeah, how do you know that shit?
Do my research, man. That's how we win all these awards.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's crazy.
So, yeah, what happened with that?
No, I mean, Nasty C wasn't really meant to be a Real Stuff, to be honest with you. Nasty C is the homie, you know. I've known Nasty C since he was, I think he's 20 now, so I think we knew him since he was like 17, 16. Always like the kids got fired, you know. And I think it's just always been a thing where, AKA, you know, would kind of, you know, put him to the test. It's not necessarily bullying. It's just kind of just been like, yo, you know, get on stage. So the one time, I mean, he came on Dirt and he delivered, he got on stage. So we always knew that the kids got the fire. And then Nasty C was just in town at the time. And, you know, I invited him to the studio and he came to the studio. And while we were doing Real Stuff, while we were making the beat, he was there, you know. And then AKA just told him to get into the booth. And he got in the booth, but with going on stage and making music is two different kind of energies. You know what I'm saying? When you go on the stage, you can be aggressive and just let everything out. But when you go into the music, you know, you as a person just gotta be real comfortable and just real, you know, relax and be in a real great environment. And I think, as far as what I heard, I was like, yo, you know, this could work, you know? I mean, the 16s that he put down. But I just guess that, you know, maybe he may have felt a little bit uncomfortable, just kind of felt like, you know, maybe I'm going to come back and spit that, you know, that real hard juice. And, you know, I had to kind of make the executive decision to, you know, replace him with Muggs because I just felt like the Muggs was taking long to get in the studio. Okay, Muggs. He was taking long. The deadline was up, but my man made it through. You know, I wasn't going to release that North Guard album without Muggs. So, you know, I had to just kind of make the call. And then the next day, you know, which was the last day, Muggs came in the studio and we were on that record. And he was like, oh, this is perfect. And I was like, yeah, this is perfect. Lucky you made it on this motherfucking shit. That's still my boy, though. That's my dog. But, yeah, so then we jumped in and we finished all the raps because by the time Nasty C came in, there were no raps. There was just the hook. Mm-hmm. You know, AKA just did the hook. So initially, Nasty C was actually the first person to actually rap on that beat. So, so I mean, the next day, Muggs came in and he did his raps. I did my raps. And the song is already like 5 minutes long. I would have loved to still put Nasty C in, gotten him in the next day or something, but the song was just too long. And what a lot of people don't really realize is that when you're in this music industry, and if you're in it like the way that, you know, people like myself, Anati, AKA, or Ricky Rick are in it, you know, we know that we're in it for a really, really long time. So, you know, for me, I know there's going to be plenty of opportunities for Nasty C to get on records. I mean, he's mad talented. He's mad young. You know what I'm saying? There's like, his story still needs to be told. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be like a lot more records we're going to do together. So I'm glad, you know, everything happens for a reason. And I'm glad that the Real Stuff is what it is today.
So, what is that connection between you and Muggs? Because every album, there's always that fire collab.
Yeah.
From F-I-R-E.
Yeah.
Heaven.
Yeah.
Now, Real Stuff is the next single, right?
Yeah, it's the next single.
Dope. What's that chemistry been like? How did you guys meet up?
We met through Bongani. Muggs was always hanging around, you know, Muggs was always affiliated with 2 Pro. Mm-hmm. And I think there was 2 Pro and 2 Omen. And I think there was a time where, you know, things just kind of started drifting apart between them. And I think Bongz kind of took notice of that. And, you know, I also knew of Muggs. I mean, Muggs' records back in the days, even still today, were hard, you know. So we always knew, yo, Muggs has got that juice, he's got that jig. And, you know, Bongz was the first person to really reach out to Muggs, invite him to the studio. Him and Bongz got along well. Myself and Muggs got along well. And it's just always been that kind of brotherhood between us. that we always know exactly like what kind of songs we want to get on together. What kind of energy we're gonna bring together on certain songs. It's just always I did the intro to Muggs's album, The Breakout. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's just always just been that like that wildfire chemistry. And it's a brotherhood, like I said, more than anything else. It's a brotherhood.
Alright, dope. That 6 a.m. video, something else I want to touch on. That was a very different direction. Yeah. Well, there was a common direction, which is you getting tied up. You seem to get tied up a lot in your videos. Yeah. But there was a lot of like messaging, like a lot of feminist messaging, a lot of empowerment messaging. Yeah. Was that a conscious decision on your part, or did Kyle come to you and was like, no, I'm gonna
we went to Kyle and then we wanted something different, and Kyle is very creative. He's really out there. And, I really take my visuals, I take them real seriously. So I kind of just trusted what he wanted to do. And I was like, you know what? After I was like, it is a bit out there, and why not do a video that's going to be out there? Why not? You know what I'm saying? So we decided to go with that kind of concept, and we decided to go with that direction for the video.
Alright, dope. So the last album, I wanted to confirm, like, were you under fifth season or this helping push your stuff?
No, fifth season were my booking agent at the time, and it only made sense. I did that on purpose because it helped me align all of our tours, myself and AKA's tour. It was a lot easier, the synergy was a lot easier and a lot quicker to manage. So I decided to, kind of have them as a booking agent, and then, we did a lot of tours together, myself and AKA, and because we had a lot of songs. At the time we had like 3 songs, or maybe we had quite a few songs. We had Control, we had Heaven, and then we just kind of had All Eyes on Me. So, the tour was kind of something that we needed to
do. On All Eyes on Me, who are you shouting out?
Shout out Cap. Shouting at the nigga Cap. No, I'm shouting out, because the song has the sample from Brenda Fassie. Actually, the song is Brenda Fassie's sample, but I think we used the original sample that she sampled, which I don't know the artist. But anyway, because it has that old school 80s Joburg disco kind of feel, I felt it was only right for me to shout out the people who were the influences at the time. So my man, what am I talking about again on that stuff?
Boogie Harry.
Yeah, Boogie Harry. So Boogie Harry was like the first black guy to be on Radio Metro. So, everyone knew Boogie Harry. And then Grand Shekwane, his slogan was Shibaba Do Shibabu. He was also one of like key, black radio DJs. And Kick-Ass Kenny Maestri, everybody knows Kenny Maestri. And then, fuck with the A-Team, you know what I'm saying? So we just decided to, and then there was one more. We'll bring everybody's club status back down to the ground level. We shout out to Boogie, Pink Cadillacs. Yeah. So Pink Cadillacs was a club in Hillbrow back in the 80s, which was also, I think, one of the biggest and one of the dopest clubs, which founded members of people like Mosquito, and people like, like Harry. So it was just only right to kind of give that era of South African music a shout out, as opposed to like the Hugh Masekela era, or opposed to the Twimbos era, you know what I'm saying? Just to kind of look at it, so that's exactly what we decided to do.
Dope. Speaking of the A-Team,
yeah,
when's that A-Team mixtape?
It's coming along, but it's also a bit slow to get us all. Yeah, it's another story. I mean, it's just hard to kind of get everybody's timing aligned, Yeah. AKA is working on his new album, you know what I'm saying? I know he's focused on trying to do that. Every time Burna Boy is here, it's either like I'm out of town, or, I got something crazy going on, or, it's just kind of just hard for us to just kind of get it together. And the reason why we want to do it together, why we all together, is so we can all put our energy and input into this. We could easily, I could do a verse in my house, AKA could do a verse at his house, Burna could do it, and then send it. It's not gonna be, you want, like there's a record on Burna Boy's album called Birthday, and that was all recorded like at the crib, and You know, it's an amazing song. You must listen to that song featuring Kid X. You must hear that song. It's like, you know, the energy on that song is incredible. And yeah, I mean, like, it only works that way. That's the only way it works. If we're all together.
All right. So, all white party.
Yeah.
Seems like my invite got lost in the mail this year.
My bad.
I don't know, man.
My bad. Don't worry. I mean, you niggas gonna be cool next year. You know what I'm saying? I get, you know, like I did this long ass interview, told my long ass story. You know what I'm saying? The least I could do is put you guys into the all white pool party next year.
Thank you. I mean,
so I definitely got you guys. It's crazy. It's literally a celebration where it's a very private party where all my friends and family of the industry get together and go crazy. I mean, Cap has always got his shirt off.
Shirt off Cap?
Yeah, shirt off Cap. So if you're saying Cap, he's always got his t-shirt on. And like, you know, everybody just comes out and just parties and has fun in the sun. And yeah, it's quite an event, man. Yeah. A lot of Ciroc, a lot of girls, a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember like, definitely this year was a lot better. Like, last year, whoever was doing the publicity before would actually ask you, Phil, can you come film?
Yeah.
This year I was speaking to your management, like organizing an interview. So, that all white party.
Yeah.
Yo, did you see that last email?
Yeah, no, it's because I really want to create an environment where the celebrities can be free, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They ain't gotta like, you know, they can feel like, you know, if there's two celebrities in the industry dating each other, they can be publicly affectionate and nobody's taking pictures and nobody's trying to create a story out of something. You know what I'm saying? It's in my crib. You know, it's a private place, so you know there needs to be some sort of privacy. So you know, unfortunately, we only gave access to Vuzu, and it was kind of something where you know we just felt that was the right kind of media partner, and we just kind of felt like you know they've been loyal, and also we could, you know, tailor some of the stories. You know, we could really oversee and overlook some of the stories that we're about to talk about.
How do you go from the kid who literally has to perform in Cape Town just so he can get home to masterminding one of the biggest cultural events every year, like every February people are looking for?
Yeah, I just think just kind of remaining real passionate. You know, I'm really passionate about music. I'm real passionate about my brand. I'm really passionate about, you know, creating new things that are gonna help the industry and elevate the industry and create creativity within the industry. So it's definitely that passion, that drive, and definitely the relationships that I have within the music industry. You know, I don't like to burn bridges. I like to keep good relationships with people. I like to be hospitable to people. I like to be, you know, thankful and help people when I can and be grateful for some of the opportunities that are presented to me, and that's just pretty much it. Yeah, just kind of just keeping good relationships with people, just being consistent and passionate.
Right. So we pretty much covered
Yeah.
a large portion of the North God story.
Yeah. What I want to say is just believe. I'm wearing this Believe T-shirt for a reason.
Are you a believer?
Yeah. No, I believe. I'm a firm believer in God and Jesus. Firm believer in family. Firm believer in putting a lot of effort and a lot of hard work to get what you expect out of it. I'm a firm believer in education. You know, the kids got to stay educated. And I'm a firm believer in the music and the South African hip hop music industry as a whole. I'm a firm believer in it elevating and creating more opportunities for others. And I'm a firm believer in making other people's dreams come true by all this goddamn freshness. God bless you and God bless the North.
Alright, so thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. That was
No doubt. Thanks, my nigga. Stay up, y'all. God damn, it's late.
We broke.